assessment of the macroeconomic situation and the outlook, the Monetary Policy Committee voted unanimously to increase the policy repo rate by 40 basis points, by 40 basis points to 4.40% with immediate effect. Consequently, the standing deposit facility rate stands adjusted to 4.15% and the marginal standing facility rate and bank rate to 4.65%. The MPC also decided to unanimously remain accommodative while focusing on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure that inflation remains within the target going forward while supporting growth. So the decision in this regard, what is called as the stance, is status quo. In other words, it's the same as was last time. I would now like to set out the rationale behind the MPC's decision and the stance. Globally, inflation is rising alarmingly and spreading fast. Geopolitical tensions are ratcheting up further since then. Inflation-sensitive items relevant to India, such as edible oils, are facing shortages due to conflict in Europe and export ban by key producers. The jump in fertilizer prices and other input costs has a direct impact on food prices in India. Further, the normalization of monetary policy in major advanced economies is now expected to gain pace significantly, both in terms of rate increases and unwinding of quantitative easing as well as rollout of quantitative tightening. These developments would have ominous implications for emerging economies, including India. Meanwhile, COVID-19 infections and lockdowns in major global production hubs are likely to accentuate global supply chain bottlenecks while depressing growth. In fact, global growth projections have been revised downwards by up to 100 basis points for this calendar year. These dynamics pose upside risks to India's inflation trajectory set out in the MPC resolution of April. Further, the MPC noted that domestic economic activity is progressing broadly on the lines anticipated in April. Contact-intensive services are benefiting from pent-up demand, and investment activity is showing some signs of gaining traction. At the same time, the MPC judged that the inflation outlook warrants an appropriate and timely response through resolute and calibrated steps to ensure that second-round effects of supply-side shocks on the economy are contained and long-term inflation expectations are kept firmly anchored. In the MPC's view, monetary policy response at this juncture would help to preserve macro-financial stability amidst increasing volatility in financial markets. Accordingly, the MPC decided to increase the policy repo rate by 40 basis points, and it also decided to remain accommodative while focusing on withdrawal elevated commodity prices, COVID-19 related lockdowns or restrictions in some major economies, slowing external demand and tightening global financial conditions on the back of monetary policy